Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Brainstorm Brewery. We are back this week with another guest. Two guests. 2 weeks in a row. Me and Jason are here, along with our perpetual guest, DJ, who we can't get rid of. But we also have a patron with us this week.
You started without me?
Paul, welcome on, man.
Hey, great to be here. Thanks for letting me come on and pretend like I'm one of the cool kids.
Well, you support the podcast, so you are one of the cool kids.
Oh, yeah.
How does he support the podcast, Corbin?
I don't know, Jason. I did this last week. I feel like this might be your thing, like your only thing.
My only thing, huh?
Every week, I drive the bus. You complain about how I'm driving the bus, and you pitch Patreon.
I'm not going to pitch the Patreon now, Corbin. Let's hear you do it.
Okay. Hey, everybody. If you want to support the podcast... and
you are not doing a good job.
No, this is bad.
Good.
You're doing a bad
I
on
wondered
purpose.
how far I'd get into it before you stopped me.
I should have let you give some faulty information. What Paul has done is he's been a buddy. He's gone to patreon.com/Brainstorm Brewery and subscribed to us at the $40 a month tier, which is our buy your way onto the podcast tier. And if you're thinking, wow, that's absurdly cheap. Yeah, we thought so too, but we also thought we would never hit that amount. And we did. Paul's a lunatic. In addition to being able to come on the podcast, he's had access to these handsome drinking glasses that I'm using now. Funny story about that. Don't let me forget to tell that. And some other stuff, like access to the spreadsheet, the after hours, the episode early. He gets the works. Everything we do it for you, Paul.
Well, I would get the works if you'd actually send me the glasses.
Woo! That's fired.
So the funny story about that was we got two kinds of glasses, right? We got the ones I'm drinking out of right now, the not good ones. It's got the label that flakes off. And we went with a company before that does a process where they like use the enamel and heat it to like 1,000 degrees or something like that. I was reading on their website. They're like, it won't come off. I hit it with a hammer and the glass broke, but like the label was in one solid piece. Like it just doesn't come off in the dishwasher. And Marcel didn't like how it tapered, and he tried to big dick them like he does like with Teespring and stuff. He's like, hey, this isn't perfect. I like all the glasses for free. And they're like, well, you can get fucked.
And he does that with Wizards of the Coast, too.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
And the company was like, how about you die in a fire, and you got all the glasses, and if the fire consumes you, it doesn't matter. The glasses will be fine because we heat them to 1,000 degrees. To get the label on there. And Marcel's like, oh yeah, well what if I gave you bad reviews on like every like complain to the Better Business Bureau and like make all these bad posts online about your company? What if I did that? And they're like, we'll sue whoever Brainstorm Brewery is. And he's like, all right, touche. So they were super mad at us. And then like a year later I came along and was like, hey, it turns out we tried other companies and they do not give us a good product. This says Rainstorm Brewery. I have one that says Brainstorm Brewery. You know, like the letters are coming off. If you got those bad glasses, I'm sorry. Don't blame me.
Well, we didn't know, obviously. I mean,
yeah, we didn't. Because they cost the same. They cost the same. I was like, oh, good. These will be quality too. Nope, incorrect. So I messaged the other company. I was like, hey, that guy doesn't work here. We fired him. The guy that like made all the bad, he had his performance review and we're like, get out and clean out your locker at the country club, Marcel. You're fired. Pick up your check from security on the way out. You're fired. And I just I threw him under the bus. They're like, all right, that's cool. Your money's green. So we're going to be ordering the glasses again, the original logo, the everything, the whole look, the everything. I'm getting like 400 of the things. So if you never got glasses, you'll get them. I ordered 400 custom cartons that I had to make on uline.com. I had to give them the specifications and have them custom made. Those are coming to the house. It's all coming together. Then I got to go to the post office and send out all these packages. And when I go to the post office and I've got 3 laundry baskets full of things, and they're like, I was about to go on break. I'm like, you're not going to go on break. You're going to do 40 of these things. And here's a stack of customs forms because this is going to Finland or some shit. Like, Corbin's like, oh, the Patreon's your one thing. Yeah, I got to do a lot. So if you're a guy like, I'm owed 2 glasses and I didn't get them, how hard can it be? Well, it's a thing when you have to deal with a company who threatened to sue your business. So we're finally back on track.
The moral of the story is, Paul, you'll get your glass 6 months from now.
Okay.
If you're nice.
Yeah.
If you're not, it might be longer.
Or shorter.
Yeah, I mean...
And if you give us the right address on Patreon, that's super helpful too.
I'd say.
So we got we'll do some more Patreon stuff. We're always thinking of ways to give you value. Well, like with the one chip challenge, that was a thing that we came up with. We're gonna burn Corbin's squeaky chair when we get to our next tier. We'll be doing all kind of stuff.
Wait.
I can't wait till episode 400 because we're going to have an entire episode dedicated to Jason telling that story 80 times.
It's funny because right now I'm trying to get the chair to squeak and it won't squeak.
Well, I told the story because there's a resolution. They told me today.
No, I like it. It's a good story.
There was a resolution.
Back and forth, looking like an idiot, trying to get my chair to squeak and it wouldn't do it. Wait, there we go.
Well, the important thing is that you look like an idiot.
Well, that's just generally true.
So go to patreon.com/Brainstorm Brewery. Just give us $1. For $1, you can have access to our Discord server where we all hang out and make fun of Corbin for Photoshop him drinking milk because he's a wuss.
There are a lot of photoshops of me drinking milk. Like
there are
more memes than I thought possible for one thing.
As many as you deserve. And that's at $1. And $1 is sort of like it's a dude's busking and you're like, hey, smelly guitar guy, or a dude playing the same song on the saxophone when I'm just trying to enjoy a froyo out in an open air market. Here you go. Here's $1 for your saxophone skills.
As long as they're doing Wonderwall, I always give them money.
On the saxophone?
Anything, man.
A little careless whisper.
You're the oasis of people. So yeah, just $1 is a nice way to say, hey, I appreciate what you're doing. It's $1 a month. It's not even $1 an episode. It's $1 a month. $12 a year. That's the amount my wife spends on hair ties every week. So it's not a lot of money.
That's an interesting comparison, but I guess it holds true.
It's very specific.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad for your feedback. So it's just to be like, hey, it's not nothing. Where you get access to the Discord and you get to see memes of Corbin. Wouldn't you pay $1 to see memes of Corbin? I know.
I think I described it in the Patreon as 10 Splinter Frights a week.
Yep.
Which is another troll of me.
Or 10 Splinter Frights a month.
Which only longtime listeners would know.
A month. So
okay, speaking of longtime listeners, one friend of mine who recently top 16 GP Detroit, he decided because he felt that he was lacking out on some of the old school memes, he is going back from episode 1 and re-listening to everything. And he's creating a spreadsheet to show who's been on the most episodes.
Oh my god.
He's creating a spreadsheet for most funniest moments, tagging and timestamping a bunch of our funniest moments and oldest memes.
Wow.
And he's just also including shots called and shots missed. So Ryan's Savage Summoning and Ryan's Eldrazi on Innistrad. He's planning on doing all of that.
MTG Ryan is never wrong.
Thank you, Sander Vanderson Leclerc, for you stepped on a great joke, you fuck. I called him Sander Vanderson. That's great. That's a great portmanteau of their two names, but you're just like Corbin.
That was very original, Jason. I would have never thought to have done
that. I messaged him, and after he told me this, and I said, "Hey, wow, that's amazing. You're gonna be the next super fan." And he said, "Well, super fan of you and Jason. Corbin is
Neat.
Whatever.
That's a really cool story.
I enjoyed it.
I was going to congratulate him on making top 16 of the GP, but now I think he sucks for not making the top 4.
It's because he was wearing Guy Fieri Crocs, but he didn't dye his hair.
I heard his teammates did not let him wear a Brainstorm Brewery shirt.
That's on day 2. Yeah, they didn't let him wash, or they didn't let him wear the
8-0 day 1. You can't wear the same shirt for good luck in day 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I like to do for Superstition Steak? I like to change things up at the last minute.
His friends owe him a non-zero amount of dollars. We would have totally sponsored that top 4.
Yep.
I don't disagree.
I had cash on me, but oh well.
Yeah, rough. Anyways, Paul, what do you want to talk about, man?
It's amazing that there's a dude out there and DJ's not his worst friend.
Wow. Paul, are you a member of the Patreon for the memes or for the general knowledge and information and general happiness you get from the show? Those? Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, most of the latter. I don't think I've actually...
Answer in the form of a poem.
I need to bust out some of my my haiku skills.
Haikus are easy. Just go 5, 7, then 5. Really not that hard.
Wow.
Wow, Jason, that was really off the cuff, man.
It was. Corbin, eat my ass. I can make a haiku, man. It's not a big deal. That was off the cuff.
Okay, buddy.
Trust me, Corbin.
Very proud of you.
I can. I can't. Trust me, Corbin. I can make a haiku for you. There we go. I got you.
Good work.
It was worth. Corbin eat my ass is 5 syllables. So if you ever want to make a haiku, just start or end it with Corbin eat my ass.
Or both.
Or but Corbin eat my ass.
Yeah, but
haikus are real easy, man. Corbin eat my ass.
The real question is what you put in the middle.
Jelly or syrup, whichever you prefer.
Anyways, Paul, I hear you're a modern player like me, not like these two. Let's talk about Magic. Please.
That is a hard right turn.
Please, anything.
Enough levity. This. Let's talk about Magic the Gathering now.
No, I mean, we spent last week talking about Commander. We got to spend this week talking about Modern for an hour. You guys ready?
Yep. Let's talk about all the prices that Modern moves.
It does. What?
It moved them all when they started the format. What has Modern moved this year, sir?
Every card in the Humans deck.
Yeah, a lot of the Jund stuff has been moving because of the Assassin's
that was
Trophy.
Rhetorical. I didn't expect you to have. I didn't expect you to have an answer.
Hardened Scales.
Yeah, Hardened Scales does
Hollow
work,
One.
man.
Vengeful.
Goblin Lore.
This was good, Jason. This was good, man. You really got us.
Night of the Reliquary is the same price it was in 2017, so Jason's asleep right now.
You named 5 cards. It's good.
It is good. No, so Paul, do you play a lot of Modern? Like, are you tournament grinder here, or just online, or what?
No, I'm more of a casually competitive Modern aficionado. I mean, I would say specialist, but that would imply that I'm actually good, and I have no real credits to my name, so...
I would describe his skill at Modern as Brainstorm Brewery listener.
Well, apparently some of our Brainstorm Brewery listeners top 16 GPs.
That's true.
But
and
not
he
top
plays
8.
Strom, though, so he's kind
Top
of a
4,
person.
not top 4. So what do you play, Paul?
I play Black Green Rock. So when I saw Assassin's...
Hell yeah.
This is a good time for you.
When I saw Assassin's Trophy get spoiled, I went to eBay and started finger blasting that refresh icon until I saw a pre-order come up, and just snap bought. And I got lucky. I got lucky and got a playset in at $12.50 a piece.
Wow. I was about to ask if you paid $35 a piece for yours.
No.
Or whatever the card's worth today.
The guy had 5 playsets listed, and I sat there for a second and thought, should I be buying all 5? But I'm like, no, that's just irresponsible.
Well, Star
It was
City,
irresponsible not to, sir.
Star City's out of price, out of stock at $35 on that card. By the way, for everybody listening to this, Assassin's Trophy is really good. If you think it's going to be $30, you're insane. How about you trade for them at the pre-release if you want? More, just wait a month, wait 2 months until they're $10, and then buy them.
I mean, there's so much opportunity to make money if you're nimble. Like I said, hey, you should pre-order these at 15 to 20 because I bet there'll be 30 pre-release weekend. And then everyone told me I was an idiot, so I was just like, all right, guys. I did the same thing. I bought a Brepticaze at like 15, and I was trading them out at like 40.
Yeah,
because that zombie deck was hype, and then I turned it into a pile of detention spheres and supreme verdicts, and then guess what? I made money on those too. It was amazing.
Yeah, Assassin's Trophy is, by the way, real price on the card. Market price is $25 on it, which is still very high, but
significantly higher than it will be a month from now.
Yep. The card is great though. So is this gonna make Black Green Rock like really a thing again, Paul?
Oh, I don't. I go back and forth on it. I mean, it shores up a lot of matchups that can be rough because I mean the the removal in Black Green Rock is nice with Fatal Push and Abrupt Decay and Maelstrom Pulse. I mean, you run it as a 1 of or a 2 of, but now like with Assassin's Trophy, you can get rid of all the problem things like Hollow Ones, Gurmag Anglers, and then it just gives
Carns.
big Karn gives a big middle finger to Tron, which is kind of nice. Right. I mean, I don't think it swings it to be a favorable matchup, but it gets it to more of that 50-50 range
it's
what you're looking for.
Yeah, like, and the nice part about it is it's one of the few cards that actually can destroy their threats. So much of the games against Tron come down to playing the game of keeping them off Tron, and the problem with a lot of the hate is that in the end, they just end up making, and that's why Mono Green Tron has become the best version of the deck. They just keep making land drops. It doesn't matter how many times you path them or Field of Ruin them or Ghost Quarter them or whatever. They just keep making land drops, and if you're spending your turns doing that, you're not spending your turns killing them. Eventually, they're just going to play an Oblivion Stone and then hit 5 mana and blow it up and then play Karn anyways. Or they're just going to get to 6 mana, play their Wurmcoil. They're just going to play their Ugin. But with Assassin's Trophy, it's one of the few cards in the format that you can actually main deck that not only can it stop them from getting it if that's what you want to do, but it can also, you can just wait, not necessarily that you want to, right? But in the situation where they do draw and play a big threat, you can actually answer it. You're not just dead on the spot when they play Ugin, which is, I think, it's not necessarily what people are talking about with it, but I think it's in terms of the way the games will actually play out. The ability to blow up the lands or the threat is something that, you know, you can't do with Field of Ruin or Maelstrom Pulse, right? You can only get one or the other with all these other cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So why don't you, have you experimented with Jund before, or are you just
I tried
Black Green Rock purist here?
Yeah, I tried Jund for a while. I didn't like that third color. You take a lot of damage off your lands, and like, you know, when Bloodbraid Elf was unbanned, I was like, oh, this might be cool. Tried it out. Right. I mean, sure, it's got a high ceiling and a low floor. Like flipping an Inquisition or flipping a Thoughtseize when your opponent is basically empty-handed or just full of lands, just it's a big feel bad. And then like flipping an Abrupt Decay when you have no targets. Right. In the end, you're just getting a 4-mana 3/2 with haste. Like, it feels like you could always do better.
Plus, yeah, and it's interesting because Bloodbraid, like, there was a time, obviously, in Modern even, where sometimes a 4-mana 3/2 with haste was, it made those, when you missed, it was fine because that was at least, it could at least play on the curve, as opposed to now just being so hopelessly outclassed, it's just not even realistic.
Right. And then flipping a Bloodbraid Elf on your Dark Confidant is always a feel bad too.
Yes, that's true. That's true. So are you still playing Dark Confidant in Black Green?
No, I've cut all my Dark Confidants and replaced them with Tireless Trackers.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've seen people playing Trackers. I've seen people playing Grim Flayers in that spot. And I don't know if it's just, you know...
Tracker at least replaces some of the card draw. Grim Flayers...
Well, it depends what you think.
Grim Flayer's fine.
It depends what you think about Grim Flayer, right? I think with Dark Confidant is you just die a lot of the times with it in play because it also just doesn't really affect the board that much anymore. Grim Flayer is at least a 4/4 most of the time that can kind of set up draws. It's not card advantage, but I like Trackers too. It's a lot of 3 drops.
Dark Confidant is kind of like the duplicate of Modern, right? Like, it was a staple at the beginning of the format, and everyone just like, yeah, you got to play that. And people were playing Dark Confidant back when Umezawa Jite was legal in Standard. Like, it's great in Legacy. It was great in Old Standard, but like, it
was great in Modern once. It was
for a while,
long ago, even like a couple years ago.
But it seemed like it
just has more competition now.
The format
doesn't know it's dead yet.
Yeah, the format just powered up and sped up in the past 2 to 3 years, or even honestly maybe like 1 to 2 years. Like, some of these really degenerate fast decks are relatively new. Like, we think about Hollow One as being a thing that's been around forever, but that deck's not that old. Humans is, I think, this year. You know, like,
yeah. Well, I think people kind of were like, "Wow, it's a bad Legacy," so we solved it. We just like ported over all the Legacy decks and then we're done. But like, people are actually innovating and it's good. Modern's like, it seems like the one format where people are doing the most innovation, which is crazy because it gets an influx of new cards every once in a while. But like,
innovation,
it's gonna go ahead.
Innovation, but not necessarily with great results. I mean, if you look at the GPs in the Star City Open this weekend, it looks like, you know, everything's just kind of been boiled down to like, I don't know, 10 decks in the meta that are the power decks, and everything else is just kind of crap.
I mean, in SCG Syracuse, like, most of the players that topped, like, was playing Burn, though.
Yeah.
Like, you can still play just decks that are considered bad and low tier and just crush stuff.
Well, the interesting thing is that every time I think that Modern has reached that point of just being Legacy Light, where it is quote-unquote solved and not very fun, something like Hardened Scales Affinity comes up. Like, that's a deck I played that deck on Mighty Modern, like, a year ago. It hasn't changed that much. It just got a couple small upgrades, and then people started really started figuring out the deck. And now Hardened Scales is just a deck. Like, it's just a good deck in the format. So there's still innovation. It's just kind of like the format is so powerful now, all the innovation has to be something broken. You know,
I think a lot of it, too, is just people figuring out certain lines of play on certain decks.
Yeah,
like that Hardened Scales deck is so hard to play, and I had people asking me for pieces for that deck this past weekend at Syracuse, and they've never touched anything like it. They're like, I'm used to Burn, and I want to play Hardened Scales Affinity. I'm like, do you know how much math is in this deck?
Yeah, this deck is a lot of math. It's cool though. It's sweet.
It's different on Moto where it just does all this crap for you, but like, I had so many people come up to me like, yeah, I shouldn't have played Hardened Scales just because, like, I just kind of killed myself. I didn't realize I could hit him for 18 on turn 2, but I just couldn't.
Yeah, it's a thing. I mean, this SCG event is also crazy because Living End won it. Like, and if you look at his list, Benjamin Lau, look at this list. This is straight, like, 2016, whenever Amonkhet came out. You know, like, it's just the stock Living End list. It's got Archfiend of Ifnirs, it's got the Desert Ceradons, played one Anger of the Gods in the main deck. It just came out of so that's what I'm saying about Modern.
Well, how do you win an event? You win an event, you got to do a bunch of different things, right? You got to know your deck.
Yeah, you got to get.
You got to have a decent sideboard plan that shores up your bad matchups. You got to know the field, and you got to duck your bad matchups. Usually, you got to get lucky, because like that room is full of like half the people in that room could have won the event, right? Like. Half the people are just like, man, I'm just here for things. But you figure like half the people under the right circumstances were capable of winning the event. So the person that does win, they're like, they had luck on their side. And, you know, good players make luck. Certainly.
I'm going to point out to you my favorite part of his sideboard plan. He had 2 Dead and Gones. That's a split card from Planar Chaos.
Oh, I know what Dead and Gone. Yeah. Oh, I'm very aware.
The front side is it's not even the front side. One half of the card is a shock.
And the other half is when you're playing Two-Headed Giant in top 8 for a spot on the PT, and you go to Thysis someone's dragon to deal them 12 damage and kill them. Your partner goes, wait, I'll play Gone because I don't own the dragon. My Two-Headed Giant partner does, and then you whiff on your Thysis.
Yeah, that's return what Gone target does. Creature you don't control to its own. So the really cool part about this is, and I'm making a bit of a leap here, but I believe this is probably for the humans matchup, because the first thing I said when I looked at the deck was, how could he have possibly beat humans in the finals? And I didn't watch the game or anything, but they just Meddling Mage Living End. Is Living End, like, how does that even work? But 2 Shriekmaws in the main deck and Anger of the Gods in the main deck. Beast Within's in the main deck. But think about Dead Gone. Even if they even if they know what your hand is, they actually can't beat this with Meddling Mage because you just play the other one. They're 2 different cards. Like, and both of them deal with Meddling Mage. It instance
that and it costs 4.
3.
Normally, you can't play like the random cheap lightning bolts and stuff because it messes with your Living End.
Oh, right. That's right. Oh, yeah. This only works because of the change where it's no longer considered, for purposes of that, it's no longer 2 separate cards.
That's
the
a
total
shitload of
CMC
innovation
of the card is 4. Yeah, so that's actually really neat. So that's the thing. That's what I'm saying about Modern. It's like every time I think that we've reached that point of you can only play 4 decks or whatever. This top 32, there are no Vengevine decks. It was won by Living End. Hardened Scales was a new deck. Like, the format is much more powerful than it was even a year ago, I think. And I think a lot of this can be attributed to it going back to the Pro Tour, where people worked really hard on a lot of stuff. But I don't know. It's still pretty cool.
So based on that note, based on that note, Wizards is quoted as saying they want Modern to be a turn 4 format, and granted that was like a 6 years ago quote or something.
It was
like
a long time ago.
But what do you think? I mean, I guess Corbin and Paul, what do you think is the breaking point of like we need to slow down the format? Like a lot of these decks can realistically just kill you on turn 3. Like Hollow One, like humans can have you theoretically dead on turn 3.
Yeah, they lock you out on turn 3.
like hardened scales can have you realistically dead on turn 3. Like storm can kill you turn 3. Like what is the breaking point where something needs to go or something needs to come back to slow it down?
I don't think it's going to slow down.
I think when it's a turn 2 format.
Paul, what do you think?
Yeah, it depends on the consistency. I mean, there are a lot of decks that can theoretically have you dead on turns 3 and 4. Some decks that can possibly kill you on turns 2 or 3, but like, how consistently are they doing that?
Yeah, I think Storm is probably the most consistent turn 3 deck in the format, or KCI, but both of those are very weak to sideboard cards. You know, Storm, the new versions of Storm are more consistent and better than the older versions that either use Pyromancer's Ascension or whatever else. But the new versions are so much weaker to Graveyard Hate because they need to Gifts Ungiven for a specific thing. They need to do that, and they have usually just enough.
And they usually need to have a creature in play too.
Right. So it's more consistent. Storm's a more consistent deck at killing people on turn 3, especially in game 1. But post sideboard games are worse. Same with KCI. It's a very good deck, pretty consistent deck, really explosive, but it's just, you know, eventually you just play enough Stony Silences or Leyline of the Voids that it becomes very difficult for them. And same with Vengevine.
KCI I can still see going just because of a rules issue.
I think
I can
KCI
see that
going
going
on but
yeah, that I can see going just based on like what's the card, Second Sunrise argument, where it's like the card is just not inherently like when you see so many players cast Pithing Needle and name KCI and then learn a very, very valuable lesson. Like, and when that deck can like get around Extirpate by using KC, like it's just
Extirpate is the one that is just, that's when you realize it's just a meme. Like you thought you were playing Modern, but you're just getting memed on by your opponent. Like you just imagine what's the most ridiculous thing that I could have that they could beat. Oh, I know, Split Second. Nothing will ever beat that. It's literally designed so that nothing can beat it, and then they just effortlessly
flip up a will bender.
That's when I just feel like that's the definition of getting memed on in Magic. It just feels bad. So I don't know, but I don't know. I think the format might just be fine as it is right now. Like I don't necessarily like it, but you know I think
you just don't like it because Humans is a better Merfolk, Corbin.
Well, I don't like it because Humans is a better everything.
Not a better Living End.
No, I'm saying like it's just the best creature deck in the format, and it's not even close. That's the problem. It's just you can play Bant Spirits sometimes. Like Bant Spirits had a good weekend recently, but you know, I'm not going to go on this rant on here. But Humans is just the best at everything.
Humans are the best. We're number 1.
They just have the best. They have the best tax effects. They have the best. They don't have to worry about colors, so they have the best mana base.
They're always going to have the biggest card pool because what plane isn't going to have humans on it?
So yeah, other people
Return to Lorwyn, please.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like we got that right in theory with Ixalan. Is we're going to get Merfolk. Surely this is going to give me an upgrade to my deck. Well, we got Stone Cold Nothing. Bant Spirits has been successful recently because they actually did get an upgrade and a really nice upgrade in M19, but. That's great, but now they're going to have to wait who knows how many years before they get another upgrade. Humans, every single set gets something, and they got Militia Bugler out of M19 even. So they just have the best everything. They have the best 1-drop with Champion of the Parish. They have the best Hand Hate with Kitesail Freebooter and Meddling Mage. They have the best tax effects. They have the best Lords with Thalier's Lieutenant. Like they just get the best of everything. So it's just really, really hard to see a future in which other decks leapfrog Humans. And that's the problem. The creature decks specifically have always been very reliant on this. Well, this deck gets an upgrade here, this deck gets an upgrade there, and it keeps the metagame fresh and stuff, right? But I just don't see Humans, unless things change, ever getting knocked off its perch at the top.
That's cool.
I got a question for you guys. Do you have any success uncurling foils?
Yes.
Uncurling them?
Like, uncurling them, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so what I've tried is I've taken foils and put them in stacks of, like, 15. And then I put them facing each other. And then I jam as many as I can in a box. And then I shim it with basic lands that I don't care about getting torn up at the end. Then I put them in a room that the only thing in there is my furnace and my dehumidifier, and I've been running the dehumidifier 24/7 for about a week.
Okay. Has this
and
worked?
The foils, I haven't taken them out yet, but I got to imagine that once some of the humidity's gone and they've been compressed together, that's going to be good. But my basement is so dry, like my eyes are killing me right now. So like been rubbing my eyes this whole episode, and everyone's like, is he on a Coke bender? Not on a Coke bender. I'm trying to dry out my foils bender, so I'll let you know how that goes. I have good foils. It's like, hey, Seas Claim, that's $5 on Card Kingdom's buy list. And they're going to be like, I don't want that. Don't want your curly-ass foil. Get out of here, idiot. So, like, I don't...
Yeah, 9th edition foil Seas Claim is the best Seas Claim.
I just bin them a bunch until they are at least acceptable.
I mean, I tried that, but, like, I if there's a way to do it with thousands of them at a time real quickly...
Not.
Yes, there is.
Well, okay.
What do you do, DJ?
Not physically bin them is what I mean.
Well, a penny sleeve traditionally holds 12 cards. So I will take 6 foils that are curled in each direction, and back-to-back them.
Back-to-back or front-to-front?
Back-to-back.
Okay.
Definitely back.
Back-to-back in the penny sleeve, so there's 12 cards per penny sleeve, and then I will fit those back-to-back in like a BCW 4 row and just fill it. And then instead of filling the rest with basic lands, I'll fill it with silica packets.
Like I mean, desiccant is like, an industrial dehumidifier that's sucking all the moisture out of my entire basement. Just, okay, silica packets, all right. And that does it?
Yeah, I mean, it took like 2 weeks to get all my MPS lands like all nice and flat.
That's good to know. I might have to do something like my Merfolk deck has.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really put it in a specific room or anything. I just like hermetically sealed the BCW box with packing tape and just like chucked it in the corner of my room. And then 2 weeks later, I checked on them and they're fine.
I mean, people live in different parts of the world.
That's
different
true.
Parts of the world have different relative humidities.
Like the guy who posts on Reddit, they're like, Wizards, your foil quality control is awful. My foil curled after 2 weeks. Where do you live, man? Miami, but that's not part of the
You should do a brain bite on that, DJ.
On decurling foils?
Yeah, man. That would be great.
Cool. It would be great if we all did more brain bites. Which are these videos that we do? And you don't have to be a patron at patreon.com/Brainstorm Brewery, but it wouldn't hurt. Maybe if we had some more money, we'd be more motivated to do it.
Oh my gosh.
If our Patreon got high enough that I could quit my job, which is raising my daughter, if I had enough money to pay someone else, and I'll be honest, anybody that's going to raise a kid for money is going to do so much better at it than me. So when I have enough money to keep my stupid, precocious, I want to sit in Daddy's lap and play the cookie game on PBS.com and all this crap, I'm just like, Daddy's trying to work on brain bites, but she wants me to teach her to read or whatever. Annoying crap kids are doing all the time. Daddy, I made you a card. And it's like, you just scribbled on a piece of paper. That's worthless. That card's terrible. You're not good at anything yet. I'm sorry. I'm pretending not to be charmed by everything she does. How's it working? Is it transparent?
Yeah, man. Everyone thought you were really mad. Everyone thought
I fooled all of you. But yeah, like, if you give us enough money to get her out of my hair, we'll do more brain bites. Where I just did one that hasn't come out yet, where I talked about how to use EDH Rec as a resource, because that's not super obvious to everybody. One of you nerds did one about traveling to GPs, about things you need to know. True. Yeah, this is stuff that we just think it's stuff we may talk about on an episode, but having it just like discreetly in a video that we can get our clicks up or whatever. We don't know anything about YouTube optimization. We are very late to YouTube. I think you're supposed to film dead bodies. I don't really know how to do YouTube. All I know is you're supposed to like and subscribe and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll do more brain bites probably.
The bell.
I mean, yeah. If you want to finger blast that bell icon, you'll be notified when we put up a new brain bite, which will be any day now. So
okay. All right, let's do Breaking Bulk.
What were we talking about?
Breaking Bulk this week.
Okay. I got
Breaking Bulk time. Breaking Bulk time. Break.
Oh yeah, Breaking Bulk. There's so much good stuff.
It's a pick. Breaking Bulk. The end.
I got a better one. You'll never get this one.
Okay. Go ahead.
Ice Age, bulk rare,
What?
Red enchantment. Or at least people think this is a bulk rare. I get these in like... I came across a stripe of 6 of these in Ice Age bulk commons and uncommons because Ice Age doesn't have the expansion symbol that's colored, so people just thought this rare that's worth $2 was actually a common.
I have no idea.
So this is a red enchantment from
the
Ice
Chaos
Age.
one?
No. This costs 2 colors and a red for an enchantment.
No clue.
I'll just give this to you. If you run across this in Ice Age bulk, you'll probably see it in there because it hasn't been a big deal until like recently. The card's called Glacial Crevasses. And maybe this is cheating a little bit because it's like, that's a $2 rare, but at the same time, I get these in bulk.
Sacrifice a snow-covered mountain. No creatures deal combat damage this turn. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, yeah, I've seen this before. I actually didn't know this was a rare. I picked this, but I always thought it was an uncommon.
Yep, this is it's a legit card. It's real good. People are running this in like mono red decks, but like also like snow-covered mountains aren't that hard to come by because you can run do the snow-covered mountains with the lens, the thing.
Are you talking
extra
about
planar lens?
Extra planar lens, where you suspend a snow-covered mountain, so your opponents who have mountains don't get the benefit of having a card with the same name as the land that you suspended.
And scrying sheets and stuff like that.
Yeah, so you can even you can run Scred and EDH if you want. But Glacial Crevasses is a card that just like, hey, with 20 or even like $15 to $18 Crucible Worlds running around, something like Glacial Crevasses is not that big a deal. It's something good to play, and I get these in bulk all the time. And I just turn around and flip these at Card Kingdom. So that's a real card, and you're gonna. I mean, Ice Age bulk is something you should buy anyway because like you got Portents in there, you got Brainstorm, you got those two.
All right, I got a real DJ level pick for you guys here.
Finhorn Elves is the other one I was going to say.
Green uncommon from Khans of Tarkir.
Is it the
Feed the Clan?
No, it is a creature.
Saber.
Oh, the
Temur
Sabertooth.
That is a good guess, but no, it's not Temur Sabertooth that I'm talking about this week.
This
is complete DJ.
Is it the
level.
one that taps for 2 mana or something? If you have
Nope.
No, that's a common, I think.
Whisper of the Wilds or something is what you're talking about.
Yeah,
it is not.
It taps for 1 and taps for 2 if you have Ferocious or whatever.
This is a card with Outlast.
Oh, don't know any. I'm not gonna get that Outlast, huh?
Trample one.
DJ? Yes, it is the Trample one.
I forget the name.
It's Tuskguard Captain. It's a 3 mana 2/3.
It's a Skullbriar one.
You don't get to say yep after you didn't get it, you idiot. Yeah, I knew it all along. As soon as you said what the name of the card was, I was like, yeah, I knew.
Spreadsheet
has Trample.
We're trying to update the spreadsheet.
I got your Tuskguard right here.
Yeah, it is an actual DJ level pick, but it is a pick. Along with
is that a nickel?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, our boy Aaron Miller was the illustrator. You gotta tag your artist so you get cyberbullied. So make sure anytime you say the name of a card, you say who the artist was and tag him on Twitter. Otherwise, you're the worst.
Is actually part of a cycle where of uncommons from that set.
The white one's a pick too.
Yeah, Abzan Battle Priest is also a pick. I'm not sure about the other ones.
No, they're not.
Yeah, but those are the 2 I know are picks. And Abzan Battle Priest, I think, is actually that's the one that gives all your creatures, I believe, lifelink that have a 1/1 counter on them. But
no, the white one's flying.
Oh, Abzan Falconer.
Falconer,
Yeah.
But that's a common.
No, it's not. Abzan Falconer is an uncommon.
Oh my god, if only we had access to the internet.
I don't need the internet, I'm right.
You might be right.
Abzan Falconer is
an uncommon, but so is
drum roll uncommon.
But Abzan Falconer is actually not always a pick because it was reprinted in Iconic Masters. So,
yeah, and it was actually Captain was in the Atraxa deck, but it's still a pick.
It was actually in Cons. It was in Commander 2016. It was in Iconic Masters, and it was in Commander Anthology.
Correct, and it has fallen off of Card Kingdom and the Blueprint at the moment, DJ, on Falconer. So it is a card I pick, but it's not always. It's doing worse than Battle Priest and Tuskguard Captain.
It's been printed too many times.
Yeah. But it's sweet because it gives them all flying. Abzan Battle Priest is also uncommon, right? So this wasn't even a cycle, it was just a thing.
Aren't you the one that tells us it's Abzan? Like, aren't you the one that got us saying Abzan, and now you're saying Abzan?
Weird. Get trolled.
You're weird.
Yeah, so maybe it's less a cycle, since not really a cycle and just cards with this ability in this set. But anyways.
Yeah, there's a cycle of 5-color creatures with Outlast, which was the Abzan mechanic.
Abzan.
Anyway, I have...
Not every cycle has to be 5 colors, you tool.
I said that when I picked my Esper basic lands and Jason got mad.
It's a cycle of 2 cards.
Yeah, that's different.
It was 3 cards. Plains, Island, Swamp.
You're an idiot.
Cycle has to be... All right.
We'll see who's an idiot, Corbin, if you can guess this one.
I'm probably not going to.
It was originally printed in Antiquities, but that is not the version I am picking. It is an Antiquities artifact, uncommon, and its most recent printing, outside of a super exclusive product, was in a Duels of the Planeswalkers deck.
Ashnod's Transmogrifant.
No. If you can guess...
Is it an artifact from Antiquities?
Yes.
There were like 11 of those. Amulet of Krug.
No.
Felwar Stone.
No, Felwar Stone. Shut up. That was the dark anyway, you idiot.
Ivory Tower?
Nope.
No.
If I tell you this card and then tell you how much this version is, you'll be very surprised.
Okay.
There aren't even that many Antiquities
I don't
artifacts.
know
There was barely any artifacts in Antiquities. Come on. It's common?
It was an uncommon in Antiquities, and it's an uncommon in the version that I'm picking from.
Staff of Zagon.
No.
Weak Stone.
No.
Okay, I don't know.
The Rack.
Oh,
the time
it was
shifted
in
version?
Plane Chase or Arch Enemy or something,
I
right?
am picking the
Oh,
Duels of the
there was a
Planeswalker
version with...
version.
Yeah.
Because it has the
with
stuffy
Liliana.
doll on it, right?
Yes.
It has not stuffy doll. It has a actual picture of a very violent looking torture rack that I will display to my crappy webcam. This version, the uncommon one from that Duels of the Planeswalker product, is $10.
Yep. I do
well,
love
those Duels of the
these.
Planeswalkers decks were pretty rare. Like, they didn't do anything.
And this
because
is
like the vigor from that was worth more, stuff like that.
Packs, right?
No. This was like a promo from like a video game.
Yeah,
or like
I know. They were packs that you got when you bought the game.
No,
when
it's either that or the deck. Like, there was also a pre-constructed deck you could get.
I'm not sure if it was in... Because I have some of those packs.
It was Garrick versus Liliana, right?
Exactly. There's like the Liliana's deck because you can get like Howl the Night pack with that symbol. You can get like
I've seen
Mind Rot with that symbol
with it, and Elvish Promenade.
Yeah, it's like an M in a circle, right?
Yeah,
that version of the Rat
that's
is
what, like
10
vigors,
dollars.
It's because it's the only art of it, right? That art.
Yep. So you can either get like the Antiquities art, which is like time shifted or FBB or revised or whatever, and then or you can get this version, which is Duels of the Planeswalkers, super cool looking violent thing from Nick Klein, and it's
so that was in Antiquities, huh?
Yep.
Originally. Huh.
The nice thing about this, this Duels of the Planeswalkers is most memorable to me for having all of the stuff you wish you pulled out of Lorwyn bulk. Like, it's got Jagged Scarred Archers, Elvish Promenade, Imperious Perfect, Drove of Elves, Lissalana's Huntmaster. Like, you just got all these cards that were just like, you wish you were picking. I mean, they're fine picks. They're good picks here, too, but you just wish you were picking Lorwyn bulk.
Yeah. The black deck? Not so much. I can't even think of a single card from the Liliana deck.
Yeah.
Maybe there's like a Megrim maybe or something like that.
Yeah, Megrim is the other one, not Mind Rot. That's what I was thinking of. Megrim is in that deck because I know every time I pay people to sort bulk, I tell them to just take that set symbol because there's no room in that set symbol in the sorting tray and just like throw it in a pile and I'll deal with it later.
Yeah. And
then once in a while I find the rack and I'm like, hey, $10.
You know what messes me up is stuff from the anthology sets, like the 1999 anthology sets
like
and stuff
Beatdown
like that.
And like
it's
Beatdown box set.
Well, Beatdown box set and what was the other one? Garfield versus Finkel. Those at least have expansion symbols.
The Beatdown box set doesn't.
Beatdown box has it's a mace is the expansion symbol. I own a Beatdown box. The beatdown box had a mace as the expansion symbol. Garfield versus Finkel had like a...
I know it had a
like
D.
a D. Yeah. It's like Magic Anthologies or something like that. It had...
Or no, I'm thinking of Battle Royale.
Battle Royale is the one with no expansion. No, Battle Royale had the expansion symbols, but they were colored.
No, because it was land tax that was this.
Oh, Anthologies was the one they were colored, and Battle Royale had no symbols. Yeah, you're right. There's one, but like you'll get like, hey, why is this a white bordered Miri Cat Warrior, and it's a 2/2 instead of a 2/3, and the Tempest symbol is gold, and you're like, what did this come from? There's some weird sets out there, and like,
yeah,
I just put all that crap in a pile when I'm sorting them. I got to deal with that later because you got to like look at someone's like, oh, it's 93 through 97. Some of it's 93 through 98. Some of it's 93 through 99 because they just did that over a couple different years.
Like the Pendelhaven too.
Yeah. So there's just weird stuff you come across while sorting, and you're like, I don't know what to do with this. Just put it in a pile, deal with it later. How do you tell the difference between this and 5th edition? Sometimes the artist name is center justified. Sometimes it's left justified. It's really like it's crap you should know. Like we talk about alt 4th, but like there's all kind of weird stuff that like I think this is 5th edition. There are like 10 different land taxes that they only made like 100 copies of each for weird different things. And you just got to know that kind of crap, or just pull it and be like, nah, just sell this to somebody.
Just throw it in a box.
Throw it in a box, yeah. Just throw it in a box and forget about it for 10 years. And you're like, oh, that's $80 now. I'm good at this.
All right, so let's talk Guilds of Ravnica here. We'll put it off for a little bit.
What about my breaking bolt?
Oh, you got one?
Yeah, I got one.
Oh, hell yeah. All right, man, go ahead.
I have a green creature from Born of the Gods.
Archetype of Endurance.
Yeah, that was pretty easy.
Yo,
I was surprised to see this
good.
is $2.24.
It's so good in my
Market
Yell
price?
deck.
I know Card Kingdom you can buy listed for 75 cents.
Hexproof.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a poor man's asceticism is what it is.
Well, it's just...
I think it's better than asceticism.
I don't know about...
It doesn't regenerate your dudes, but like, yeah, it's a creature and it's easier to put into play in a green deck.
Yeah,
that's for
it's
sure.
easier to put into play. It's also easier to remove, though. Like, obviously, you can't Wrath away.
It has hexproof.
You can't
It's
Wrath away.
easier to, like, when they kill it, it's easier to bring back, and then giving all their creatures, like, nuking all their creatures with hexproof is, like,
it's
better,
almost like
too.
they're two different cards.
I would rather play Archetype over... Especially, like... Because Wrath's, like, asceticism is only going to save 1 or 2 guys anyway, because it's 2 mana per creature to save.
It's 1 mana per creature.
No.
2.
It's 1 in a green.
It's 2.
Don't correct me. Is it really?
I play both in my Mael deck for what it's worth.
I haven't activated that ability on an asceticism in a long time.
Which is why I like Archetype of Endurance better.
Oh, it is 2 mana. Who knew?
Alright, you guys ready to talk Guilds of Ravnica? Sure. Paul, what are you most excited about from the set? Put you on the spot here.
Oh, I mean, aside from Assassin's Trophy, the
yeah.
mission briefing looked interesting for Modern.
Yeah, that is an interesting one.
Do you like Nebraska for Modern?
Absolutely not.
No, card's
No.
trash.
Yeah.
Everyone always looks. Oh, you win the game, and they like. Everyone always
Card is
falls into that
trash.
Vraska trap every single time they print it.
I mean, here's the thing, though. You can't... I say it's trash. You can have a 4-mana Planeswalker that goes up to 6 LOT immediately, and that's a lot. You don't have to sacrifice anything. You know, it seems reasonable that there could be a deck in which it is good, but it will be a specific deck.
Yeah, if that -3 ability was the original Vraska's text, where it didn't have the CMC clause on it, then maybe.
Yeah, that would help. Yeah.
I don't hate it. I kind of think. I think mission briefing or whatever is a little bit overrated. I kind of think that's going to be down to a couple bucks.
That card is very, very overrated.
I really like Doom Whisperer. I think it's a great top end.
What does that do?
It's something that it's the 5 mana 6/6 flying trample, and you can pay 2 life to surveil 2.
Some super power creep.
That card goes in my Selenia deck so hard.
Yeah, it's I think that has. I think that could impact Standard, but like Standard's going to be it's going to be so crazy because there's just going to be so much that people are trying week 1. As an EDH player, Hatchery Spider that was spoiled today caught my eye. It's not.
What's it do?
It's a 5/7 for 7 spider with reach, but its undergrowth ability is when you cast it, you reveal the top X cards from your library, where X is your undergrowth number, and you can put a card with converted mana cost X or less on the battlefield. It reminds me of Genesis Hydra and Vivian's Invocation and crap like that. I like stuff that does stuff like this. If I don't have to take out a current card from a deck, I like this in like Maelstrom Wanderer, where I just added Vivian's Invocation this week. I kind of think, for whatever reason, Maelstrom Wanderer is the number 2 deck being built on EDH Rec this week, and either we found a rash of them somewhere and all 30 decks got uploaded at once, or people are, but it's possible people are going back and adding Vivian's Invocation and some of the new lands or something like that. I think we just found a rash or some dude just like uploaded 30 decks, but it reminded me I need to go back and make some updates to mine because Vivian's Invocation's nuts, and I think Hatchery Spider belongs in the deck. I like having the body. Maelstrom Wanderer gives it haste, and you're basically cascading.
Yeah, it is
with the spider. So it's not going to be worth more than $1. I just think it's cool.
I like Etrata the Silencer a lot for EDH.
So this is the creature that the new one everyone's talking about today, where today being Monday for us, where when it's unblockable, it's a 3/5 for 4, right? And then it kills a creature when it hits, but then you have to shuffle it away.
Yeah, it exiles target creature that player controls, put a hit counter on it. That player loses the game if they own 3 or more exiled cards with hit counters, and then you shuffle her back. So
exiling's kind of cool.
Yeah, so it gets around a lot of indestructible stuff. It gets around a lot of just generally hard to kill stuff.
Yeah.
But if it's your commander, it doesn't have to get shuffled in. Right. You just put it back in your command zone.
Yeah.
You can also,
and then you throw a Helm of the Host on it.
You can also, I think it's
Blade of Selves.
Crystal Shard, I think, is the one that allows you to pick up a creature. It could be wrong.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not Blade of Selves. Vedalken Mastermind. Yeah.
Erratic Portal.
Yep.
Yeah, you can do a lot of cool stuff where you put the ability on the stack. I believe this works. Put the ability on the stack, then blink it out. Blinking it would work even.
Yeah, Ghostly Flicker.
Yeah, any instant speed thing like that. It's pretty cool. I'll tell you, I'm excited about, and this maybe isn't a crazy pick, but I'm excited about Knight of Autumn. This card is just insane to me.
No, that card's that. I don't know why more people aren't talking about it. Knight of Autumn is nuts.
Yeah, it's a 2/1 for 3, green, white, and a generic. When it enters the battlefield, you choose one. You put 2 counters on it, so you either get a 4/3 for 3, or you get to Rex Sage something, destroy target artifact enchantment, or you gain 4 life. So think about it. Those decks this is Kitchen Finks and Rex Sage all in one. Whereas if it's a card that you either main deck in some sort of Modern Company deck, or even in your sideboard, you can bring it in every matchup where you want a Rex Sage, and outside of not being an elf, it's more or less the same thing. The mana is slightly different. But
we needed more knights for the night deck.
Yeah, it also is good for the night deck, although the green's a little awkward in
There's
standard.
not a night deck. I'm just saying there's not a night deck.
There is in standard. There is it's black-white though.
Yeah.
But you can also, it's also, what I like about it is, say you're playing against Burn. Your Rex Sages don't do anything, but Knight of Autumn gains you 4 life. And
it's a main deckable side. I love modal cards.
Yeah, and you're playing against combo where neither of those things do anything. Well, I got a 4/3 beater. Take it.
It feels like every card in this set says choose one or choose one of 4, or everything in this set is modal. It feels like, which isn't a bad thing.
There's a lot of that.
I mean, even
I kind of wish the lockets didn't suck.
Do what?
The lockets are like the clue stones. They're not even really all that playable and limited.
Yeah,
I'm kind of disappointed.
They're pretty bad, actually.
I kind of like Amara more than I like Tristani, which is sort of like the reverse of last time around.
Yeah, Tristani just came out today, I think. Tristani Discordant, 3/4 for 5, or 1/4 for 5. Other creatures you control get +1/+1. When it's about if we get 2/1/1 white soldiers with lifelink at the beginning of your end step, each player gains control of all creatures they control. Yeah, just kind of seems meh.
Amara makes me want to dust off Glare of Subdual, which I think is one of the best EDH cards no one's playing.
When it becomes
tapped,
when you look at Glare, yeah.
No, it's tap the thing. It's opposition.
No, that's what Glare is.
Oh.
But Glare's in opposition. It doesn't tap lands, because I guess I felt that was too blue.
It kind of taps lands in EDH because you just hit their mana rocks.
You hit their mana rocks and their mana dorks. Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to build an Amara deck, but it's exciting. It's a good card to have in the format.
You play that
Aurelia
with Smuggler's
sucks.
Copter.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have the
Aurelia sucks, and that sucks.
Yeah, we'll have the set review next
I'm
week.
I'm not really excited about Boros at all. I think Mentor is a pretty shitty mechanic.
Oh, Mentor's fine. It's like not exciting, but it'll play well, I'm sure. The new Goblin...
It'll play well in Limited and maybe in Standard.
Yeah, the new Goblin Rabble Master card is going to be pretty good.
But as an EDH player, I'm not excited about Mentor. You want to be going wide, not going tall.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's Boros. What do you expect? Legion War Boss is a 2/2 for 3. Mentor. At the beginning of combat on your turn, get a 1/1 Goblin token against haste until end of turn and attacks this combat if able. So it's kind of like a new Rabble Master. You just play it and you create a new thing every turn. And it doesn't have the ability to get, huge like Rabble Master, but it can make your other creatures huge.
It's 5 through 8.
Yeah. It's pretty nice. I honestly think there's going to be a Goblin deck in Standard.
That would be cool. Tron players are bitching about Unmoored Ego, which is like the 50th nail in the coffin of a deck that is still going to unperturbed go off on turn 3.
Yeah. I don't know why people care about this card. I'm going to read it and you guys can tell me what you think. Unmoored Ego, 1 blue black. Choose a card name. Any card name. That's the point. Search target opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for up to 4 cards with that name and exile them. Then they shuffle their library. Then they draw a card for each card exiled from their hand this way.
I think this is very good for Lantern control.
What? You think Lantern's going to play this card? What?
Yes.
That deck doesn't exist anymore.
I mean, I think one of the reasons that deck doesn't exist is it has a hard time dealing with certain combo decks that go off before it can establish the hard lock.
Maybe. I mean, I think
and
basically...
you can play this turn 2 and name, like, KC... Like, Lost Legacy doesn't let you name artifacts. You can't hit, like, KCI. You can't hit, like, just other certain important... Like, you can't hit other...
I definitely think this will go on some of my sideboards, but I just don't... It doesn't seem like... I guess hitting Tron lands is the big appeal, but only when you're on the play. Like
no, I don't think this is an anti-Tron card. I think this is like a card that you play in other modern decks like Lantern.
Maybe, man. I don't know. I think Lantern's probably never coming back, to be honest, because people found out that War of Invention was the best version of Lantern, and then they found out that Lantern wasn't the best version of War of Invention, and they stopped playing Lantern. So I hope it comes back. I have the deck built. I love the deck, but I don't know. Unmoored Ego is cool. I can see it working its way into a few of my modern sideboards, but I don't think it's, just incredible.
No,
Ionize is kind of interesting if you look at, like, back in the day we had Absorb, which is 2 blue and a white, counterspell, gain 3. You had Undermine, 2 blue and a black, counterspell, they lose 3. And then you had, I don't even know the name of the card, it was that shitty. It was colorless, 2 blue and a red, counterspell, deal 3 damage to target creature. Yeah, and you couldn't even counter their spell if they didn't have a creature to target. Yeah. So, like, Ionize is a way better version, because, like, yeah, it's like a kind of a bad Undermine, but it doesn't have double blue. It's a colorless, a blue and a red. You can always play it because you just deal 2 damage to the spell's controller. I think Ionize is, it's, where Suffocating Blast wishes it were.
Yeah, well, we'll have the full set review next week. I'm pretty excited, if nothing else, for Limited and New Standard. I mean, gosh, just think about, it feels like it's been so long since Kaladesh has just been dominating Standard, so I'm hyped for new rotation.
And there's going to be, like, a lot of cards that we really like that are going to be $1, and it's just, we're going to have to be okay with that. Like, I think Quasi-Duplicate's nuts, and it's just going to be like, it's just never going to be worth money, and we're just going to have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't like you. You don't play Brutaclad.
I play Temet.
All right, let's talk Pick of the Week.
Pick of the Week. Pick of the Week. Pick of the Week. Time for the Pick of the Week.
I think I got a good one this week. All right.
You think?
Yeah, I think I got a good one. All right, let's let the guests go
All
first.
Right.
Paul, you want to jump in? You have a Pick of the Week?
Nahiri the Harbinger.
Ooh, okay.
Specifically for Modern. I mean, currently she's almost at an all-time low at like 775-ish, give or take. But I feel like this card is criminally underplayed in Modern.
Yeah, that card's worthless right now, and I'm always like, when I'm buying it at GPs, I'm like, why am I paying literally nothing on Nahiri and getting them?
Yeah,
it is very good.
Because it got really high for a minute, because like
it became when Control was searching for a finisher, people started playing 1 Emrakul and 4 Nahiris, because Nahiri on 4 has enough loyalty. You can sometimes bring it down and just tick it up once, then it takes a hit, then you remove their board, and then you just eventually ultimate. Plus, it's just removal when you minus it. But, Controller moved away from that for whatever reason, and then basically Mardu Pyromancer decks at one point were Mardu Nahiri decks, and then Pyromancer was just a better win condition. So that's what happened to it. That said, I do think it's a very powerful card that has a lot of potential.
Right, I think just in a straight Boros red-white control shell, I mean, you're talking like spot removal, sweepers, 4 Blood Moons, Chalice of the Void, right. Simian Spirit Guide, and then just some Planeswalkers, and then the Nahiri Emrakul package to finish it off. And then in the sideboard, you've got access to Leyline of Sanctity, Rest in Peace, Stony Silence, Boil for the control matchups. Could be something there.
Boil.
All right.
I remember the good old days when you were playing Spectral Shift, so they'd boil you and you would change the text to say destroy all mountains.
DJ, what do you got?
So my pick of the week is based on Etrata.
Okay.
I think that she's going to be a very... Like, her and Lazav, I think, are the 2 cards that could theoretically just spike other older cards based on people...
I have a Lazav base picked, and Lazav already, within a day, resurrected Phyrexian Dreadnought, which is a reserve list card that got down to like $14 or something stupid like that.
Yep.
That's already way back up.
Yeah, so my pick is a Future Sight card that I have always loved just pulling out of bulk and thinking maybe one day, maybe one day, maybe one day.
Maybe this is
just along the lines of like Necrotic Ooze and Restore Balance and all that. Flesh Writher is the only card that has Transfigure as an ability. So it's black 1 while this card is in play. You sacrifice it, search your library for a creature card with the same converted mana cost and put that card into play. So you can only play it as a sorcery, but if you have like Lightning Greaves or something, you start your turn, after Etrata has been thrown back into your deck, you play Flesh Writher, Transfigure it, get your Etrata back out, start cutting people's throats and exiling their creatures. I think this is an auto-include in that sort of deck.
But why would Etrata ever end up in your deck? Why wouldn't it just go back to your command zone? Are you talking for like 60 card casual or something?
No, for EDH, you play Tutors, you can get her back, and then you only have to play 4 instead of 6 or 8 or 10.
I mean, so you're talking about if she's in the 99? Versus...
No, if she is your commander, you let her get shuffled in, and then you either tutor for her or Flesh Writher her.
Yeah, you save mana. You save mana.
Or transmute. Like you don't pay the commander tax if you shuffle her.
I get it.
Yeah, you save mana that way. I mean, Flesh Writher is an uncommon. What do you think it's going to do? It is Future Sight.
It's a Future Sight card, so I think it could very easily go to $3 or something. If you pick up like 2 playsets of them at like $5 or $10 or whatever, like you just spend $5 or $10 on this card, and then maybe you buy list it for $1.50 like 3 weeks down the road.
Sure. All right, I'll jump in here. I got a card that's been printed a couple times now, but really only, it's been printed several times, but almost none of them are really relevant reprints. So Fairy Macabre was in Shadowmoor. And we know how hard Shadowmoor bulk's worth a lot, blah, blah, blah. Then it was in 2 dual decks. Well, it was in dual deck and then a dual deck anthology. So those
and then
exist,
Modern Masters 1?
Modern Masters 1. The least printed of all the Master sets in history. So Fairy Macabre has been cropping up a little more in Modern. One of the versions I think actually popped, but the Modern Masters version is still widely available at 50 cents. But it's gone up from 25 cents to 50 cents just in the past couple months. So it's a card that's been worth money in the past. It's been a couple dollars, I think, at some point in its lifetime. But yeah, the Dual Deck Anthology one popped to $2, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the others follow suit. Not necessarily going crazy, but just sliding on back up to $1, maybe $1.50. If it has another good weekend or two in Modern, it could hit 2 or 3. I mean, we've seen people are looking for ways to interact with the fast graveyard decks. And this is a card that is similar-ish to Leyline of the Void in that it's very good early. It costs no mana in the right circumstances, but this doesn't. This is fine if you draw it later against those decks. Leyline of the Void has almost become the best graveyard hate in Modern because, and this is stupid to say, but Relic of Progenitus is too slow. You need to just stop people from doing it.
You need a 0-drop. A 1-drop isn't going to get there. You need a 0-drop.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe if it was actually 1-drop, right? But it's a 2-drop because you have to have the mana to crack it. So
sure.
And yeah, those Vengevine decks can hit you and go off by turn 2, and KCI can fill their graveyard up. But Fairy Macabre is one, it's a surprise factor. because you just discard it from your hand and instant speed decks out 2 cards from graveyards. But yeah, I just think that it's on the way up because of all
That's
of
a
those
very
things.
good pick, Corbin. My name is Marcel MTG. I like Fair Macabre Bay as a pick. Let's go to Jason. I'll see what.
Jason,
I have a Lazav base picked. Everyone was talking about, ooh, Phyrexian Dreadnought. It's a kitty cat. I'm so smart. But I think this kitty cat's been printed 3 times, and all 3 times in foil. I kind of like picking up Phage the Untouchable.
Okay.
In the Lazav deck, you say, hey, for 2 mana, I'll make my Lazav a copy of, some creature with Shadow or something like... the 1/1 hexproof can't be blocked. Whatever
Invisible
bullshit
Stalker?
that is. Whatever, man. I don't know card names. And then you're like, aha, surprise! I'll pay 7 mana and just end you. Phage the Untouchable hits him.
That.
Isn't it 8?
It's 7. Look it up.
Okay.
3 colors, 4 black. Do you think it was 3 colors and 5 black?
No, I thought it was 4 colors, 4 black.
No. So you just phage him, man. You're like, pow, you hit him. It's cool. I like people. I think people are going to be traumatizing themselves. That's a low supply card. But I don't think the deck's going to be good. I don't think Lazav's going to be good. I don't think people are going to build it. But I think it's a kitty cat, and I think
so people might
phages
build
it, like,
right? It's kind of fun.
Sure, I think foil phage around $10 seems like a slam dunk. But even like the $2 on the non-foil seems fine.
I think I like the non-foils on this more than the foils, because the people that are building this Lazav deck that will only probably have it or play it for like 2 months or so aren't really going to go for the foils here.
But I think the people that are going to be buying them in the next couple of weeks are going to be the financiers. They're like, oh, the foils are blah, blah, blah. You know, I think foils do better on kitty cats because people that think they're smarter than they are the people that tend to overwhelmingly buy these cards.
Yeah. All right.
So I don't mind selling a $10 foil for 15 or 20 to somebody that thinks they're smarter than they are.
All right, there you go, everybody. So Worlds is coming up this week. This Worlds is probably happening as you download this podcast. I'll be there. It'll be fun. Anything else?
Yeah, and if you didn't tell them you're coming 6 weeks in advance, you can't go.
Does anybody else have anything they want to add before we get out of here this week? All right. Well, Paul, thanks again for coming on, man. We really appreciate it. Appreciate
thank you guys.
Support. Appreciate having you on. It was fun.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, everybody. This is Brainstorm Brewery. We will see you next week for a set review of Guilds of Ravnica.
Oh boy, set reviews!
Love set reviews.
They're the best!
Love them.
Oh my god.
I'm going to drink alcohol to get through it. Do you guys mind?